Hare Krishna. Let us begin. So I welcome all of you to the study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 2, named titled The Mohini Murti Incarnation Bewilders Lord Shiva. Let us begin with Mangalacharana. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namasreshtam Manumapi Tachi Putramatra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Rupurim Mathurim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Krishna Danyamajanata Kshanamapi Swapnepi Vishveshware Tasmin Bhakti Mahaitu Kim Vidadhato Hritkaya Vagvi Sada Shrilan Sadguna Punjakeli Nilayan Premavataranaham Vande Bhagavatani Mananulavam Murnani Patyakshito Ajanulambita Bhujau Kanakavadhatau Sankirtanaika Pitarau Kamalayatakshaw Vishwambarau Dvijabarau Yukadharma Palau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunavatarau Jayatam Suratau Pangor Mama Mandamatir Gati Matsarvasvapatam Bojau Radha Madana Mohanau Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha. So let us review quickly what we have been discussing until now. So the demons led by King Bali defeat the demigods because of the curse of Durvasa Muni, and the demigods approach Lord Brahma for help, and then all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and Shiva go to Shvetadvipa to request protection from Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu requests the demigods to enter into a truce with the demons so that they can churn the milk ocean and produce nectar. And then the demigods approach demons and the churning of milk ocean is started, and poison emanating as the first product which Lord Shiva drinks very mercifully to help the demigods. And we have also seen the various products which have been emanating from the churning of milk ocean. And then Mother Lakshmi also appears, and then she gets married to Lord Vishnu after the Swayamvara. Finally, Lord Dhanvantari appears with the nectar, and how the demons snatch away the nectar pot from Dhanvantari. And again, the demigods request the Supreme Lord to help, and the Supreme Lord takes the form of Mohini Murti. And the demons, they are enchanted by Mohini Murti, and they agree to hand over the container of nectar to Mohini Murti, and all the demons become captivated by Mohini Murti's beauty. She's none other than the Supreme Lord, and they become attracted to her. And then the demons select this beautiful woman, Mohini Murti, as a mediator to settle their quarrel, which has begun amongst themselves. And then Mohini Murti, in a very, very tactful way, she distributes all the nectar only to the demigods, not even a one drop to the demons. However, there is one demon by the name Rahu. He dresses himself like a demigod, and he actually cheats. And when the Supreme Lord sees this, he immediately cuts off the demon's head. However, since he has already tasted nectar, one part of his body is still alive. And after the demigods finish drinking nectar, the Supreme Lord assumes his own form and then goes back to his own abode. And then again a fierce battle ensues between demigods and demons. We have seen the description of the fierce war and how Bali Maharaj attacks the demigods, and how Bali Maharaj had been creating demonic illusions. And again the demigods wholeheartedly meditate on the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord again comes in order to protect the demons, and how the Supreme Lord kills certain demons, and then how again a fight begins between the demigods and demons, and how the verbal fight between Indra and Bali Maharaj and Narada Muni requesting demigods to stop the fight finally. And the demigods actually adhere to the advice given by Narada Muni. And what happens is those demons whose heads and bodies had not been completely lost, they were brought back to life by the mystic power of their spiritual master Shukracharya. So what we will be discussing in this chapter is how Lord Shiva offers prayers to Lord Madhusudana with a desire to see the Lord's form as Mohini Murti, and how Lord Vishnu as Mohini Murti actually bewilders Lord Shiva. And we will also see Lord Shiva's exalted consciousness after he is actually bewildered, and after he comes to the senses, he exhibits exalted consciousness. So here, this is a topic which actually glorifies the Supreme Lord and the foremost devotee of the Supreme Lord, Lord Shiva, and how the illusory energy can bewilder anyone, and how such an exalted person, how Shiva was actually put into bewilderment, and what kind of consciousness which, Lord Shiva, the foremost Vaishnava, actually exhibits. Om Ajnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Tvarichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum Langayate Giri Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarina. Let us begin. Shri Badarayaniruvacha Vrishadvajo Nisham Yedam Yoshit Rupena Danavan Mohayitva Suraganan Harisomam Apayatat Harisomam Apayayat. Vrisham Aruhya Girisha Sarvabhuta Ganairvritaha Sahadevyaya Yaudrashtum Yatraste Madhusudana. So the translation for the first two verses is like this. Shukadeva Goswami says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, in the form of a woman, captivated the demons and enabled the demigods to drink the nectar. After hearing these pastimes, Lord Shiva, who was carried by a bull, went to the place where Madhusudana, the Lord, resides. Accompanied by his wife, Uma, and surrounded by his companions, the ghosts, Lord Shiva went there to see the Lord's form as a woman. Sabhajito Bhagavata Sadaram Somaya Bhava Supavishta Uvachedam Pratipujya Smayan Harim. The Supreme Personality of Godhead welcomed Lord Shiva and Uma with great respect, and after being seated comfortably, Lord Shiva duly worshipped the Lord and smilingly spoke as follows. Now Lord Shiva offers beautiful prayers to glorify the Supreme Lord. So by this we will be able to understand that Lord Shiva is one of the foremost Vaishnavas. And he is completely in knowledge of the Supreme Lord's position. How glorious the Supreme Lord is. How great the Supreme Lord is. Shri Mahadeva Uvacha Deva Deva Jagadvyapin Jagadisha Jaganmaya Sarvesham Api Bhavanam Tvamatma Heturishvaraha. So here Lord Shiva glorifies the Supreme Lord like this. Deva Deva Jagadvyapin. You are the foremost chief among the demigods. Jagadisha Jaganmaya. You are the master of the universe. Jagat Isha Jaganmaya. And by your energy, you are transformed into the creation. Sarvesham api bhavanam. You are the root and efficient cause of everything. Swamatma heturishvaraha. Indeed, you are the super soul or the supreme living force of everything. So therefore, you are Parameshvara, the supreme controller of all controllers. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam yatva mam shanti vichyate. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So, Lord Shiva is glorifying the Supreme Lord like this. Brahma also glorified the Supreme Lord like this. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. So he says, you are the root and efficient cause of everything. You are not material. Indeed, you are the super soul or the supreme living force of everything. Therefore, you are Parameshvara, the supreme controller of all controllers. So now, one must understand how the Lord is the supreme controller. The Supreme Lord, Vishnu, in this material world, he resides as the Sattvaguna Avatara, or it is also called as he takes charge of the maintenance department in this material world. So Lord Shiva is the Tamoguna Avatara and Lord Brahma is the Rajoguna Avatara. So this is the nothing but the Gunavataras of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord also expands into three Gunavataras. Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. However, Vishnu is not in the same category. That is, he takes, how to put it? He takes charge of the mode of goodness, but he is not affected by the mode of goodness. Lord Vishnu. Similarly, Lord Vishnu is Deva Deva. What Lord Shiva actually glorifies. Deva Deva Jagat Vyapin. He is the chief of all demigods. Since Lord Shiva is in this material world, the energy of the Supreme Lord Vishnu includes Lord Shiva. So sometimes Shiva is also called as Vishveshwara. But here he addresses Lord Vishnu as Jaganmaya, which means that he himself is under Lord Vishnu's control. So he is acknowledging that Lord is the supreme controller, not only of the spiritual world. He is not only the master of the spiritual world, but he is the master of the material world also. He controls the material world also. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartyate. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mayadhyakshena prakriti, under my adhyaksha, under my superintendence, suyate sacharacharam, everything is moving in this material world. So, although Lord Brahma and Shiva are sometimes called as Ishvara, who is Parameshvara, the supreme Ishvara is Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva himself is admitting here. He himself is glorifying the Supreme Lord like this. So everything in existence works in proper order because of Lord Vishnu. How beautifully the sun rises. Every day the sun is rising in east and the sun is setting in west. The seasonal changes are happening very systematically. And so many things, we see perfect harmony in everything. Why is that possible? Because the Lord has entered everything. Andantarastha paramanuchayantarastam. Even the small atoms work because of Lord Vishnu's presence within them. So now we may get a question. What is that question? Now Lord is saying, oh Lord, you are this universe. Right? He is glorifying the Supreme Lord like this. Like the sea here. You are transformed into the creation. Oh, all-pervading Lord, Master of the universe, by your energy, you are transformed into the creation. That means he's saying, Lord is the creation, Lord is the universe. However, we have also seen that material universe has a beginning and it is temporary and unconscious, right? Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punaravartinorchuna Mamupetyatu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Every place from the topmost Brahmaloka until the Patala Loka. Everything has a beginning and it also has an end. During the time of Pralaya, during the time of devastation, the material world is annihilated. And again the creation takes place. So therefore, Lord Shiva on one side, he is addressing that, oh Lord, who is this universe? That means he's saying the universe is not different from the Lord. Then again, if you see like that, universe has a beginning and universe is temporary and universe is unconscious. So does it mean that Lord is also temporary and unconscious? There may come a question. So Lord Shiva clarifies that. Adyantavasya yanmadhyam idam anyat aham bahi yato vyayasya naitani tat satyam brahma chidbhavan. So he says the manifest, the unmanifest, the false ego and the beginning, maintenance and annihilation of this cosmic manifestation all come from you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, whatever is manifest and whatever is not manifest, the false ego, the beginning, the maintenance and annihilation of this whole Brahmanda, of this whole cosmic manifestation, everything comes from you. But because you are the absolute truth, the Supreme Absolute Spirit, the Supreme Brahman, changes such as birth, death and sustenance do not exist in you. This is the Achinta Veda Aveda Tattva. That means Lord is simultaneously one with the creation, but he is also different from the creation. That means the Lord is inexhaustible, basically. Although the ingredients of this cosmic manifestation, Bhumirapo Nalovayur, Kanmano Buddhirevacha, Ahankaramiti Yamme, Vinna Prakriti Rashtada. Although the ingredients of this material world, they come from the Supreme Lord. This does not mean that because the ingredients are coming from the Supreme Lord, he is no longer complete. For example, we have, a vessel, okay, a container full of, say, some food or sweets. So if you keep taking out sweet, then what happens? The number of sweets in the container reduce. But the Supreme Lord is not like that. Although all the ingredients of this Brahmanda, although all the ingredients for the creation of this Brahmanda is actually coming from the Supreme Lord, but he never becomes less. If we have some, say, if we have some 10 laddus in one box and we keep removing one after the other, what happens? The size, the number of laddus in this box decrease. But the Lord is not like that. Although all the ingredients for cosmic manifestation, the Pancha Mahabhutas, they are coming from the Lord, but Lord never becomes incomplete. Lord, he doesn't lose his completeness. That is what is said in the Isopanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purya Purnavashish Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purna Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. That means because he is complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from the Lord, he still remains complete. Just imagine, this is the inconceivable nature of the Lord. Just imagine there is a container with 100 laddus. You are keeping on removing laddus one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. But still the number of laddus do not change. Is it possible? It is not possible. But the Supreme Lord is like that. Although millions and millions of universes come from him, although the ingredients for cosmic manifestation, the ingredients for creation of every universe is actually coming from the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord always remains the complete whole. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the root of everything. He is the original cause of all devas. Ahamadir hi devanam. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanditaha. The Chaturshloki Bhagavata, that is the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, that is the first verse. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate. Like Supreme Lord says that everything emanates from him. So therefore, in all cases, whether it may be, nominative, objective, positive, negative, whatever we may conceive of in this cosmic manifestation is actually the Supreme Lord only. He is the cause of all causes. He is the inexhaustible. And because of this, there is no distinction for him like this is mine and this belongs to someone else, because he is everything. So he is simultaneously everything and he is also different from everything. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu sthita. He says, by me, the entire universe is being pervaded. All the beings are in me, but I am not in them. So Lord's energy is actually present everywhere. He says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matsthani sarva bhutani. By me, this entire universe is pervaded and all beings are in me, but I am not in them. So the Lord's energy is present everywhere and everything rests in the Lord. But still, the Lord is different from all this. How to understand? The very next verse in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yoga maishwaram. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my Vishnik opulence, he says. Pashyame yoga maishwaram. Bhutabrun, bhutabunnacha, bhutasto, mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. So therefore, although everything is emanating from the Supreme Lord and all beings are in the Supreme Lord is simultaneously one and different from his creation. So he is changeless, he is inexhaustible. So therefore, he is the absolute truth. Tavaiva charanam bhojam shreyas kama nirashisha visrijyo bhayatas sangam munayas samupasate. Now, who can understand the Lord? Only the pure devotees can understand the Lord. In fact, Kunti Maharani also begins praying like this only. She says, Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alakshyam Sarva Bhutanam Antar Bahiravastitam Maya Javanika Channam Ajnanokshajam Avyayam Nalakshyase Mudadrisha Nato Natyadaro Yatha Tatha Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Katam Pashyemahi Striya. So, Lord Shiva is also saying like this. Who can understand the Supreme Lord then? Is it easy to understand the Supreme Lord? He is Achintya Bheda. This is Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. He is simultaneously one and different from this creation. Who can understand them? Only the pure devotees or the saintly persons who desire to achieve the highest goal in life. Shreyas kama nirashisa. Shreya. Tavaiva charanam bhojam. Those who are always worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. Tavaiva charanam bhojam. And what are the desires of those people? What are the desires of those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord? Beginning with Shravanam and Kirtanam. Their desire is to achieve the highest goal in life. Shreyas kama nirashisa. They are not satisfied with temporary achievements. Temporary achievement. They are not concerned with the temporary achievements pertaining to this temporary material body. The body is going to be there today. Tomorrow the body is not going to be there. So they are not concerned with temporary flickering happiness which is derived due to sense gratification. What do they want then? What is the desire of the pure devotees? Shreyas kama nirashisaha. Shreya. Shreyas means what? Which is a long-term goal. Shreyas kama nirashisa. They are free from all the material desires for sense gratification. And they constantly engage in the transcendental service of the Lord's lotus feet. So what are the four qualities of pure devotees? Who can understand the Lord? How can one understand the Lord ultimately? One can understand the Lord only when Lord reveals himself. And when will the Lord reveal himself? Lord will reveal himself only when the Lord is pleased with us. Then how to please the Lord? We have to please the Lord by taking to the process of bhakti. And what is the prerequisite for taking to the process of bhakti? one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. One must practice bhakti under the guidance of such a spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Why? Sakshat haritvena samasta shastre uktashtata vyata eva sadbhi. The spiritual master, Sakshat haritvena. He is the Sakshat haritvena. Sakshat, the Supreme Lord himself. He is the representative of the Supreme Lord. Sakshat haritvena samasta shastre. He is the personification of all the Shastras. Uktashtatha vyata eva sadbhi. Kintu prabhoya priya eva tasya. He is the person who is so compassionately giving Krishna. He is the person who is so compassionately giving bhakti to us. So therefore, one has to always practice bhakti under the guidance of such a spiritual master. And how to conduct oneself with the spiritual master? Pranipatena, tadvidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya, padekshyanti te jnanam, jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So therefore, one has to approach the spiritual master in a very submissive mood. Tadvidhi pranipatena, and then one has to ask in a very humble way, inquire in a humble way, pariprashnena, not in a challenging mood. And most importantly, sevaya, one must be in an attitude to serve the spiritual master. Serve the spiritual master means serving the mission of the spiritual master. So, what are the qualities? Who can understand? What were we discussing? Who can understand the Lord? Only those to whom Lord himself reveals. Only they can understand the Lord. And to whom will Lord reveal himself? The Lord will reveal himself only to those who are practicing devotional service under the guidance of a spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Only by pleasing the spiritual master, by adhering to the instructions of the spiritual master, when the spiritual master is pleased, yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Only when the spiritual master is pleased, even the Supreme Lord is pleased. Yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. If the spiritual master is not pleased, there is no gati. Yasya prasadan. When he is not pleased, nagati kutopi. There is no gati. So therefore, Lord Shiva is describing, he described the Lord as the supreme controller. He described Lord as the inexhaustible, and then we understood the inconceivable nature of the Lord. We have understood the Lord being simultaneously one and different from this creation. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. But who can actually understand and realize this? Only pure devotees. Maya Javanika Channam. For others, Maya Javanika Channam, Adhyanokshajam Avyayam, Nalakshyase Mudadrisha, Nato Natyadaro Yatha. For others, the Lord will not reveal himself. Then to whom will Lord reveal himself? Tata Paramahamsanam, Muninam Amalatmanam, Bhakti Yoga Vidanartham. So one has to take to the process of Bhakti Yoga. And the very prerequisite for Bhakti Yoga is to begin Shravanam and Kirtanam under the guidance of the spiritual master. And by pleasing the spiritual master, by obeying the instructions of the spiritual master, developing a relationship with such a spiritual master or the representative of the spiritual master, and pleasing the spiritual master, and when the spiritual master is pleased, then the Supreme Lord is pleased. That is the only way to actually attract the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And when the Supreme Lord is pleased, he will reveal himself. So, what are the qualities of such personalities who are actually engaged in pure devotional service? Who are actually engaged in the process of bhakti under the guidance of spiritual master? What are the qualities of those devotees? Lord Shiva is actually mentioning here. So firstly, they are, when we have seen here, Shreyas Kama Nirashisaha. That means they are not after sense gratification. What is the symptom of material life? The symptom of material life is to always be in the conception of I and mine. Pumsam striyan mai tunibhava meta. Tayor mito hridaya granthi mahur. Ato graha kshetra sutapta vittair janasya mohoyam aham ameti. Pumsam striyan mai tunibhava meta. So the beginning of material life is the attraction between man and woman. What is the beginning of material life? The beginning of material life is one has become rebellious of the Supreme Lord. So therefore, Lord has created this material existence and has put the rebellious living entity into this material existence. And what happens when one is put into the material existence? One is affected by the three gunas, Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and the Tamo guna. And then he becomes bodily conscious. He misidentifies himself with the body. And then what happens? Because he is bodily conscious, there are two forms, the male form and the female form. The male form is attracted to the female form is attracted to the male form. Okay, so based on this attraction, the whole material existence perpetuates. Pumsam striya mai tunibhava meta. Tayor mito hridaya granthi mahu. Then what happens when there is attraction? Because of bodily consciousness, because of rebelliousness, because we have come here to this material world, because we are influenced by the modes, then we develop attraction based on bodily attraction between male and female, female and male. We want to enjoy. That is why we have come here. The Lord is giving facility. But what is this facility meant for? This facility is meant to understand that this is not the right place. But what is the symptom of material life? The symptom of material life is increased attraction between man and woman. So, because of this attraction, what happens? Tayor mito hridaya granthi mahur. Pumsam striyamai tunibhava metat. Tayor mito hridaya granthi mahur. What happens is that hridaya granthi happens. Hridaya granthi means the knot. The very tight knot is put in the heart. And because that knot is there, what happens? One is always in the conception of I and mine. Tayo mit pumsam striyamai tunibhava metat. Tayo mito hridaya granthi mahu. Ato grahakshetra suta apta vittair. Then one thinks when there is attraction between male and female, what happens? You need the three things, right? You need graha, kshetra, suta, apta. Right? You need a place, graha, kshetra, you need a place to live. Suta, you need children. Apta, you need wealth. Suta apta vittair. And because of this, what happened? One is increasingly in the conception of I and mine. Janasya mohoyam aham ameti. So this is the symptom of material life. But what is the symptom of a pure devotee? What is the symptom of saintly person? The symptom of saintly person is he is constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. Tavaiva charanam bhojam. Shreyas kama nirashisaha. And his desire is to always achieve the highest goal. His desire is not for the temporary goals. What is the nature of temporary goals? The nature of temporary goals is they give pleasure to the body, to the gross body or to the subtle body. Either it gives pleasure to your gross body, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. It gives pleasure to the gross body. Otherwise, it gives pleasure to the subtle body. Certain activities give pleasure to the mind. Certain activities give pleasure to the intelligence. Certain activities give pleasure to the false ego. It just boosts your ego. Suppose you get a very good job or something. And if you are not a devotee, which is the case with most of the people, what happens? Their ego is boosted. Their false ego already is strong. It becomes even more strong. But what is the nature of such an enjoyment? It has a beginning and an end. Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshura mate buddha yehi samparshija bhoga dukkayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshura mate buddha. So therefore, the nature of this material enjoyment, the nature of the pleasure derived from temporary achievements is it has a beginning and it has an end. But what is the desire of the saintly persons? Shreyas kama. That means they desire shreyas. Kama nirashisa. They are completely freed from the desires for sense gratification. And Vifrijyo bhayata sangam. They give up all the material attachment in this life as well as the next life. So such persons will be able to understand the inconceivable nature of the Lord. And Lord Shiva is telling this. Lord Shiva is very much aware of the Supreme Lord's position and his own position and the position of this material world. Tvam brahma purnam amritam vigunam vishokam Ananda matram avikaram ananyadanyat Vishwasya heturudaya stiti samyamana Atmeshwarascha tadapekshaya napekshaha. So he continues, Lord Shiva, my Lord, you are the supreme Brahman. You are complete in everything. Being completely spiritual, you are eternal. Tvam Brahma Purnam Amritam Vigunam Vishokam. You are eternal, free from material modes of nature, Vigunam, and full of transcendental bliss. Ananda Matram Avikaram Amanyananyat. Ananda Matram Avikaram Ananyadanyat. Indeed, for you, there is no question of lamentation. There is no lamentation for the Lord. Lamentation is only for the conditioned soul. Since you are the supreme cause, the cause of all causes, nothing can exist without you. Vishwasya heturudaya sthiti samyamanam. Nothing can exist without you. Yet we are different from you in a relationship of cause and effect. For in one sense, the cause and effect are different. You are the original cause of creation, manifestation, and annihilation. And you bestow benediction upon all the living entities. Everything depends upon you for the results of his activities, but you are always independent. Everyone depends upon you for the results of his activities. What does this mean? Everyone depends upon you for the results of his activities means, what is the result of activity? Everyone depends upon you for the result of activity means, you are the giver of karma. Lord is Supreme Lord is the giver of karma. But Supreme Lord is not having any karma. He is completely independent. Our results, the results of our activities which are performed under the influence of three modes of nature, our bank balance which is there due to our pious activities and impious activities. Pious activity is credit, impious activity is debit. So therefore, the current balance which is there, we will get some karma. Because of pious activities, we get some good karma. Because of, bad activities or impious activities, there is some bad karma also stored. Again, this karma is of different types, prarabdha, aprarabdha, and all. But who is the giver of the karma? How does this current balance of our karma manifest? It manifests under the influence of the time. And who is the time? The time is none other than the Supreme Lord. So everyone depends upon you for the result of his activities. Shiva is saying here. That means Lord is the giver of karma, but Lord is always independent. He does not depend on anyone. Ekastvameva shadashatvayam cha swarnam krita kritamivehana vastu bheda ajnanatastvai janair vihito vikalpo yasmad gunavyatikaro nirupadikasya. My dear Lord, your Lordship alone is the cause and the effect. See, the effect is the material creation. The cause is the Supreme Lord. Therefore, although you appear to be two, you are actually one. As there is no difference between the gold of a gold ornament and the gold in a mine, they are simultaneously one and different, right? The gold of an ornament, golden ornament, and the gold in a mine, they are one and different. Similarly, there is no difference between cause and effect because the cause is the Supreme Lord. And the effect is this material world. Both of them are the same. See, gold mine is the cause for the gold ornament. So in that sense, they are same. But again, they are different also. A gold mine and gold. How did the gold ornament come? We have a necklace. How did the golden ornament come? It came because gold was taken from a gold mine. So in that way, what is the cause? Cause is the gold mine. And what is the effect? The effect is the golden ornament. These two are simultaneously one and different. So similarly, Lord is simultaneously one and different. That is what we had discussed before. And why people cannot understand Lord? Only because of ignorance. People concoct differences and dualities. What is that verse? Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. Ichcha dvesha. Because of ignorance, samutvena, ichcha dvesha, this hatred, these dualities are there. Dvandva mohena bharata. And because of these dualities, people are always in illusion. So because of this ignorance, people concoct differences and dualities. However, Shiva glorifies here. However, you are free from material contamination. You are simultaneously the cause and the effect. You are simultaneously one and different. You are free from material contamination. And since the entire cosmos is caused by you and cannot exist without you, so the cause for the entire cosmos is you. And this cosmos cannot exist without you. It is an effect of your transcendental qualities. Thus, the conception that Brahman is true and the world false cannot be maintained. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That is, Lord Shiva is actually deriding that concept. Because of Lord, this whole Brahmanda is being maintained. Otherwise, it cannot be maintained. And this Lord is also different from this Brahmanda. So therefore, cause and effect are different and cause and effect are the same. Gold and gold mine are different. But in one sense, golden ornament and gold mine are different. But in another sense, golden ornament and gold mine are the same. So this is Achintya Veda Veda Sattva. Lord is simultaneously one with this universe. That's why Lord Shiva is glorifying Lord Vishnu as the universe. And Lord is also different from this universe. Both Maya Shakti and Tatastha Shakti are energies of the Supreme Lord. But ultimately, the Supreme Lord is everything. Yet He is actually separate from everything. Tvam Brahma Kechidavayantyuta Dharma Meke Eke Param Sadasato Purusham Paresham Anye Vayanti Navashakti Yutam Param Tvam Kechin Mahapurusham Abhyayamatma Tantram. Those who are known as the impersonalist Vedantists regard you as the impersonal Brahman. Others, despite this is the fact. This is the fact that Lord, cause and effect are different and cause and effect are the same. Despite the fact that Lord is simultaneously one and different from this universe, those who are impersonalist Vedantists regard you as the impersonal Brahman. Others know you as the Mimamsaka philosophers. Others regard you as religion. The Sankhya philosophers regard you as a transcendental person who is beyond the Prakriti and Purusha, who is the controller of even the demigods. The followers of Bhakti, the codes of devotional service, known as the Pancharatras, regard you as being endowed with 9 different potencies. And the Patanjala philosophers regard you as the supreme independent personality of Godhead, who has no equal or superior. So therefore, despite being this fact, different philosophers understand Lord in different ways. Vedantists understand Lord as the impersonal Brahman. Mimamsaka philosophers understand Lord as Lord of religion. Sankhya philosophers understand Lord as transcendental person beyond Prakriti and Purusha. The Pancharatra philosophers understand Lord as the person endowed with Navashaktis. And the Patanjala philosophers understand Lord as the supremely independent Lord with no equal or superior. So therefore, however, there is one fact that whoever claimed to know the Lord actually do not know Him. Because the Lord is the supreme unknowable. One cannot know the Lord. If somebody is claiming to know the Lord, that means he really does not know the Lord. Because who can know the Lord? Naham parayo rishayo namarichi mukhya jananti yat virachitam kalu sattva sarga yan mayaya mushita chetasha isha daitya martyadayakki mutasashvada bhadra vritta. Oh my Lord, who I am considered to be the best of the demigods. Lord Shiva is speaking. Oh my Lord, I am considered to be the best of demigod. And Lord Brahma, the great rishis headed by Marichi, are born of the mode of goodness. Nonetheless, we are bewildered by your illusory energy and cannot understand what this creation is. Aside from us, what is to be said of others like the demons and human beings who are in the base modes of material nature? How will they know you? So he's saying, Lord Brahma, headed by, and all the great rishis headed by Marichi are born of the mode of goodness. Even though they are in the mode of goodness, they are bewildered by your illusory energy. I am the best of the demigods, and Lord Brahma and all the rishis, although we are in the highest mode of goodness, still we are bewildered by your energy. Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mamamaya Duratyaya So, because we are bewildered, even though we are in such an elevated position of the mode of goodness, still we cannot understand what this creation is. We cannot understand you. So, what is to be said of others like the demons and the human beings? How can anybody else understand you who are in the base modes of material nature? How will they know you? So, Lord Shiva is admitting his own position here. Even great demigods, I am supposed to be one of the best demigods. Myself, Lord Brahma, all the rishis who are in the mode of goodness, we cannot understand you. We cannot understand what this creation is. Then what to speak of other people who are in the base modes of material nature? How will they know you? So, who can know the Lord? The answer is only he himself can know the Lord. Only the Lord himself can know him. Nobody else can know him. Then what should one do to understand the Lord? One has to take to the process of bhakti. Bhaktya mama vijanati. So therefore, unless the Lord himself reveals to the person, when the Lord is pleased, there is no question of understanding the Supreme Lord to any extent. And when will the Lord be pleased? The Lord will be pleased. Two things. One has to take to the process of bhakti, beginning with Shravanam and Kirtanam. Second thing, under the guidance of a spiritual master. Both things are important. One has to take to the, which process he should take? He should take to the process of bhakti, not any other process. And then, how should one take to the process of bhakti? The prerequisite is one has to take the shelter of a spiritual master. One has to take guidance from the spiritual master. One has to please the spiritual master. One has to cultivate a relationship with such a personality. Only then one can actually understand. Only then one can please the Lord. Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grahyam Indriyai Sevan Mukehi Jihvado Swayameva Spuratyada. Therefore, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said, no one can understand the transcendental nature of the Lord only when one becomes spiritually saturated by bhakti to the Lord. The transcendental name, form, quality, and past tense of the Lord are revealed to him. So it is not easy to understand the Lord. It is not possible to understand the Lord. One has to take to the process of bhakti yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master. And now, we have crossed 6:30, but let us just complete these two verses today. And he glorifies the Lord as the supreme knower, Lord Shiva. Sattvam samihitam adastiti janmanasham bhute hitam cha jagato bhavabandha mokshau vayuryata vishatikham cha characharakyam sarvam tadatmakatavaya gamovar Sarvam tadatmakataya vagamo varunste. My Lord, you are the supreme knowledge personified. You know everything about this creation and its beginning, maintenance and annihilation. And you know all the endeavors made by the living entities by which they are either implicated in this material world or liberated from this material world. You know everything. You are the supreme knower. As the air enters the vast sky, Vayur Yatha Vishati Kamcha Characharakyam, as the air enters the vast sky and also enters the body of moving and non-moving entities. You are present everywhere. So therefore you are the knower of all. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastam. You are the knower of all. Sarvam Tadatma Katavaya Gamano Varunste. So therefore you are present everywhere. You know everything, O Supreme Lord. So he glorified Supreme Lord as the Supreme Controller, the inexhaustible, the inconceivable, and the supreme knower. And then he mentions the purpose of his visit. Avataramaya drishta ramamanasya te gunai soham tat drashtum ichchami yatte yoshitva purthritam. So now he is actually mentioning. So we have to observe two things here. How Lord Shiva is approaching the Supreme Lord. He didn't go immediately to the Supreme Lord and say, now he is saying here, my Lord, I have seen all kinds of incarnations you have exhibited. I have seen all kinds of incarnations you have exhibited by your transcendental qualities. And now that you have appeared as a beautiful young woman, I wish to see that form of your Lordship. Now, why has Lord Shiva come to Lord Vishnu? Because he wants to see Mohini Murti incarnation, Mohini Murti form of the Supreme Lord. So he says here, I have seen all kinds of incarnation you have exhibited by your transcendental qualities. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata. The pastimes of the Lord and the activities of the Lord in his incarnations, it is all divyam. So therefore, Lord Shiva wants to see, he says, I have seen all kinds of incarnations, but now that you have appeared as a beautiful young woman in order to help the demigod, I wish to see the form of your Lordship. So therefore, he is putting forth his desire before the Lord. So it's a very wonderful example of how one must actually approach the Lord. It is not that Lord Shiva is going immediately and telling to the Lord, oh Lord, please show me. No, he is not. He is taking a very humble position. He is actually in complete knowledge of whom he is approaching. He is in complete knowledge of who the Lord is. Therefore, in 10 verses, he glorified the Lord. He glorified the Lord. That means he is expressing to the Lord. He is praying to the Lord. He is praying and glorifying the Lord. He is glorifying the transcendental nature of the Lord. He is glorifying the transcendental qualities of the Lord. And also he is glorifying the qualities of the pure devotee. And after that, he is very humbly putting forth his purpose, why he has come. Because he wants to see the Lord who has appeared as a beautiful young woman. So we will conclude here. If there are any questions, we can take them. All right then. Let us continue tomorrow. How Lord incarnates as Mohini Murti once again. How Lord shows the Mohini Murti form to Lord Shiva. Okay, thank you for your participation. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.